Hi, this is Glenn with Crimson Lotus Tea. Today we are brewing one of our Sheng Puerh tea blends. It's called Space Girls. Space Girls is one of our fun blends that we made this last year, 2016. It's all material that we sourced ourselves in Yunnan, spring 2016. It was pressed in 2016 as well, but we only released it in December 2016. So realistically, it's only been on sale for a couple months. It's still one of our newer teas. It's a fun tea. Really excited about it. I'm passionate about local artists, and we were able to work with a local Seattle artist, Stasia Burrington, to put some of her artwork onto each of these bricks of tea. And so each piece features different artwork from her cosmonaut series that she did a couple years ago, and they're all watercolor. And she did about 50 different cosmonauts, and we picked some of the ones that we liked the best and worked with her to repackage it for our tea, and it turned out really awesome. Each one has a different name. This is Yvonne. This is Kato. This is Ursula, and this is Molly. Each tea is, the tea in each is identical, but each one has different artwork on it. So it's kind of fun to collect the different ones. And we sell these on our site for just $20. So it's a relatively affordable tea. This is 100 grams. The tea is fairly heavily compressed, and I'm going to open up a little bit of it right now. We're just going to brew up a little bit right now and do a little tasting and just kind of see what it is. I can describe some of the flavors and stuff that really made us appreciate this tea when we blended it. We're going to be brewing gongfu. That's the preferred method for us and our company. Tea's pretty simple though. It's leaf and hot water. You can brew it however you want. I find that brewing gongfu style really allows you to really get a lot out of the tea, more so than you might get from other methods. So we've got the vessel warming up there, and I'll show you the tea. We've got these double wrapped, which is kind of nice for bricks. That way, sometimes bricks have little sharper edges, and if you single wrap them, it's pretty easy to tear onto the outside of the wrapper. And this way, it keeps the artwork looking nice. So this is it. This is what a brick looks like. Not too big. It's 100 grams. It's heavily compressed, and it's a little tricky to get them open. If you have a quality tea knife, like some of the ones that we make and sell, what I prefer to do is actually like working slowly around the edges, getting a nice press on the inside. And if you do that just right, you can actually split the cake into two. And once you split the cake into two, you really don't need to break it down any further with the tea knife. You can just take off a decent little chunk that you need, and it'll actually work out really well once it gets down to steeping. And so what I'm looking for is for a tea like this. In fact, most Sheng Puerhs, I work with a 1 to 15 ratio. That means that for every 15 milliliters of volume in the brewing vessel, you want about 1 gram of leaf. So this guy one, this is also another one that we saw on our site. This is a Celadon guy one. It's awesome. It's really enjoyable to brew with. It's 150 ml, and so for 150 ml guy one, 150 divided by 15 would be 10. And so we're going to use 10 grams of leaf, and that's really not. It doesn't look like a lot, since it is a heavily compressed tea. You're really not actually going to think that you're brewing with a lot, but it will really open up. And so even just about this much tea would be about 10 grams, something like that. One of the advantages of adding your leaf material to a warmed gaiwan is twofold. The leaf material starts to slowly absorb a little bit of the water that's in there, and it also starts to warm up the leaf. And what you'll find is that there will be aromas that will be present in the warmed leaf that may not have been present in the dry leaf, and may actually be overpowered once you actually start steeping with it. And so one of the great things about brewing tea gongfu style is that you're taking a very complex experience and you're slicing it into very tiny manageable chunks. And one of the manageable chunks is appreciating the leaf when it's still warm. This is a really floral tea. There's a lot of subtle fruitiness in there as well. It's really pleasant, very pleasant tea to smell. So again, it's a heavily compressed tea. It really helps to give these teas a wash and gave them a little bit longer of a wash than you would with a pure loose leaf. And again, that just aids in opening up that compression. It's certainly fine to drink the wash, but the flavors and aromas are going to be a lot lighter until those leaves really get a chance to open up. So maybe just something really quick, like a 10-second wash, will give it an opportunity to open up and be ready to steep. It's nice. This is a really nice tea. We really enjoy. I was very pleased when we were able to source this material. I'm pleased with how the blend turned out. Using the hot wash and just as an opportunity to warm up the drinking cup and even give a little bit to the tea pets. It is very heavily compressed, and so that first steeping, I'm probably going to do the first steeping just a little bit longer than I would normally. If it was a looser material, I would probably steep for maybe only 10 seconds. This one here, I'll probably steep for a little bit longer than that, and we'll try it out there. There's really no wrong way to brew tea when it really comes down to it. It's all about your personal preference. If tea tastes good when you brew it, then you're brewing it the right way, and if it doesn't, then modify how you brew it. If a tea comes out a little too strong, add some water to it. If tea comes out a little too weak, steep it a little bit longer. It's pretty straightforward, and it's a lot of fun to be able to experiment with what teas do at different steeping times. I do appreciate steeping tea at or near boiling. I think Sheng Puerh really has a benefit at that, but for some people it may pull out a little bit too much astringency or bitterness that may not be preferable. Got a nice clean, clear liqueur. It's still very young, still very light. This tea's not even a year old yet. The first steeping is light, primarily because it is a heavily compressed tea. It still has a lot of flavor there, decent aftertaste. There's a sweetness there that I appreciate, something that I look for in a decent Sheng. This is a blend that we created ourselves, and what that means is that when we source different materials, we sometimes work on blending those materials together. Materials from different mountains, trees of different ages, a lot of different things can each have an individual effect on the final product. And when I'm blending, I'm looking for I'm looking for 5 things. Actually, when I analyze any tea, I'm looking for 5 things. I'm looking for flavor. I'm looking for aroma. I'm looking for body. I'm looking for aftertaste, and especially for Puerh, I'm looking for tea energy. And tea energy is a little bit harder to quantify. It depends on each individual, but it's something that I pay attention to in the tea. And to blend a tea properly, the first thing I do is I need to become intimately familiar with each individual source material. And I create a small little chart in my tea tasting diary, basically where I outline, like where I think on a scale of 1 to 10 the flavor is, the aroma is, the body, aftertaste, and the tea energy. And if I notice that one tea is really awesome in one area, but maybe not as good in another area, I'll see if I can find another tea that may actually counteract and balance that. And so the idea is to basically create something that's greater than the sum of its parts. And I think for Space Girls, we really did a good job with that. So it's a blend that I'm quite pleased with. It turned out quite nice. Slurping is encouraged, by the way. So we'll steep it again, and we'll see what we can get out of it. A tea like this, in fact, a quality Puerh tea should have a balance of things. There shouldn't be like one thing that like really sticks out. You should have a nice balance of things, and that's something that you can get in a blend. Single origin material is awesome in a lot of ways, but generally single origin material can have a very interesting singular experience in one area at the detriment of others. Is some of the experience that we've had from some single origin material. So I'm really pleased when we can create a blend from different areas and kind of create something new. I'm also really passionate about the idea that teas have a story to tell. These concepts of storytelling in tea is something that I'm really passionate about, and so for us to have a little fun with it and put Space Girls iconography and design onto there, and kind of ties into some of our other planetary teas. We call our tea balls planets. So we've got planetary material, planet Jingmai, planet Baingshan. This idea that you are transported to that place when you're drinking it, and if you have a Space Girl as your guide, it's kind of a fun way of enhancing the story of a tea. In line with the concept of storytelling, this is a tea that I had some fun with when I was describing it. This is a tea that can be very soft and very delicate and very floral and very fruity, and a very pleasing experience if you're delicate with it. But if you push these teas too far, they can be really strong and they can be really aggressive. And so it's kind of like a Space Girl. She's nice and sweet until you push her too far, and then she'll make you regret it. Yeah, so it's a little bit thicker right now, but it's still quite clear. Usually the second or third steeping for Space Girls is where I really like it. That's where the material has actually opened up a lot. So that compression really packs the leaves in tight. So it takes a couple steepings to really get out to where it's to where the tea can really shine. And that's where all the body comes through. Second or third steepings has a lot more body to it than the first one does. This is a nice tea, and it's really kind of hard to sum this tea up into one experience. This is a tea that you can enjoy and appreciate over 10 or 15 steepings easily. I could see it as a daily drinker tea, or I could also see it as something that you brought out on a special occasion if you had some friends over and wanted to share some tea with them. That is something that I encourage. Sharing tea. Tea is made to be shared. Tea definitely should be shared with people. Have tea tastings, bring people over, share tea with them, and it's a lot of fun. If you guys have tried Space Girls, post in the comments below. Let me know what you think of it. We're gonna try and post some more videos. So if there's something else that you'd like to see us post or review or talk about, you can post in the comments below, and let us know what you think. Thanks very much.